Hi, I'm Brandon Patton. I'm one of the designers of Super PACS, the game of politics about the game of politics. And our game is kind of a take that set collection game where each player controls an unattractive leader of a fictional country, and you try to assemble a coalition of factions which support your leader in order to win elections and fundraise from them so that you can squirrel money off to foreign accounts, Swiss bank accounts, or buy other investments. The winner of the game is the person who has the most power at the end of the game, be it from all the factions that they've wooed to their side, or the investments they've purchased, or the elections that they've won. The game is completely decorated with political cartoons, political caricatures. We have over 105 pieces of artwork from some pretty distinguished political cartoonists. Jeff Danziger from the New York Times Syndicate. We've got Phil Hands from the Washington State Journal, and we've got freelance illustrators, Chad Esley, Nuno Saraiva, and Jeremy the Artist. So we've got a bunch of cool cartoonery going on as well. Yeah, I grew up playing a lot of games, and after college I ended up playing in a band as a bass player and touring the country for several years with MC Frontalot, who was my friend, my buddy from college. And we got to go to a lot of game conventions. Penny Arcade was one of the first conventions to really invite our group to perform. And so I've been going to gaming conventions and hanging out at the tabletop library for the last more than a decade. I always wanted to design my own games, and last couple years I've just been doing it. It either makes you laugh with ironic cynicism, or it breaks your heart in tragedy. So if you prefer the first option, then you want to take a lighter-hearted view of it. We have a bunch of leader cards. There's the hairpiece, the independent, Tea Party animal, son of immigrants. We're throwing in pop music superstar just for the Kickstarter backers, just to be absurd. Lots of other leaders here. Zombie neurosurgeon. And then once you have your leader, you start playing. You have mega bucks. Money is important, so you can buy things. And you have faction cards. And faction cards come in 5 different colors. And so we got single moms, we've got teapot crackpots, we've got the po-po, they destroy things. We've got hipsters, we've got Wallet Street. To a certain extent, there's some truth in there, and there's some silliness in there. That's the bulk of the game. And the game is called Super PACS, the game of politics, about the game of politics, partly because one of the cards is the Super PACS card, and you can play that faction as well. Then we have elections that happen, we have events, stock market crash, and we have investments, gold bars, Bitcoin, Swiss bank account. On your turn, you choose an initial action, which is either to campaign or embezzle. And campaigning usually draws you cards, embezzling gets you money. Then you choose a main action, which would be to exploit one faction. And when you exploit a faction, the text at the bottom has kind of a one-time effect. For instance, the pro-lifers says, each player, including you, may sneak a faction. Get 2 megabucks for each faction sneaked. That's your exploit. You have exploited the pro-lifers, and that is the result. Alternatively, you can sneak 2 factions. And when you sneak, you play 2 cards face down, and you don't get the benefit from the bottom. But you get the benefit of these little stats at the top, because each faction card has votes, wealth, and power. And then at the end of the round, there is an event. And the event is something like a stock market crash, or a terrorist attack, or an election. There are 10 rounds. 3 of those are elections. And at the end of the game, everyone adds up their points. We launched recently, and we're going to run the campaign until March 2nd, which is the day after Super Tuesday. Partly because we have all these leaders in the game, and I think that it just feels more relevant during primary season. This is not the kind of game that you would play with your friends who are easily offended. It's not like an aggressively offensive game, but it definitely pokes fun at everybody. It even pokes fun at things that are dear and near to my heart. We're just sort of equal opportunity ridicule. That's sort of the idea of the game. I made a friend who had worked on a game with some of his friends in Europe about European politics, and so when we became friends, we decided we have to make a game, inspired by American politics, and so his name is Andre Pereira. I'm Brandon Patton.